Hey gang, happy Wednesday. How's it going? So, Social the Polls Day. It is a long day for me. I started in Lakeland because I went up to see the kids last night. So, for those of you not from Florida, Lakeland's about 2.5 hours from where I live. So, I had breakfast with the kids, and now I am almost back to Fort Myers, where I'm going to drive folks to vote all afternoon. So I had a couple questions in my inbox that I thought I would answer. One of them more serious than the other, and that is, Kathy, do you drive for anybody? What happens if you get somebody in your car that, outwardly expresses different political views than you? And I'm going to be really honest with this answer, and that is, number one, I drive for anybody that gets in my car that signs up that needs a ride. That I do, 100%. In the early days of doing this, years ago, which the reason I started doing this is when I was at Florida Southern, we didn't have a polling place on campus, and it was too far for kids to walk. And so I started organizing, getting kids to the polls to vote from my campus when I worked at Florida Southern, and then it's just morphed into this over the last decade and a half. So originally, obviously, I drove for anybody, everybody, and over time, I got some folks in my car a number of years ago that it wasn't even about political stuff, although it was, they were wearing some political garb, but I didn't feel safe. They were men that made me feel uncomfortable, and so I had to reevaluate exactly how I was going to do what I do. And so now I sign up and I drive for mostly older women and mostly older African American women. That's just the population that I'm driving for pretty much. But I'm not going to deny anybody a ride to the polls because that is our civic duty, right? And I do a lot of work in countries where folks don't, even though they have a right to vote, it's not necessarily that they're really getting to make choices, right? And so I take this as a serious thing, not to mention I, have a dad for a political science professor, dad, and a political science professor-y brother, and it's kind of our family business, right? So there's that. The second thing was a little funnier, and that is, what do I play for music in the car when I'm taking people to vote? And that's a funny question. I was thinking, do they think I play the Star Spangled Banner or something? But no, I have the 70s or the 80s on. That's what I usually have on because that's what's usually playing in my car. Sometimes it's the blend, but I don't have CNN, MSNBC, or any not even NPR. I have music playing. So if you haven't voted early, get out there and vote. You don't want to be caught in lines or bad weather on Tuesday.